Take 107. You got this, Ray Ray.
Hi, I'm Rowan Pickering, a comedian and farmer.
And I'm Adrienne Pickering, an actor.
And we're sisters. We did it! Woo! And this is our podcast called Is This a Job? Where we talk to
people in the creative industry.
So musicians, artists, actors, directors, writers, comedians,
singers, songwriters.
Exactly, because we want to know how they do it. How is this actually a job?
Yes. Do they consider it a job?
Exactly.
Is it just a hobby? Are they just moonlighting?
A very expensive hobby, which is what my tax accountant has said.
Like spending all their time on a very expensive hobby.
Exactly. How do you do it both mentally? Yes, long-term career, mentally. Yeah. Keep putting yourself out there and doing it. So yeah, I'm excited. But this week has been a bit of it's the last push before Comedy Festival. So it's just been hectic. I think my head's busy in a million different places. It's all the other things around the show. I just want to do the show, but it's all the things of
producing the show.
Making sure that you've got reels out there so that people can watch them, or reaching out to potential reviewers and organizing interviews. I was on Triple J this morning, which was so great.
Yes.
I'm at ABC in a
preaching to the
couple
choir.
Weeks. Yeah, but it's just all this other admin stuff. I still haven't actually worked out my intro music, which is I guess a lot of people put really interesting thought and time into it, and I've got 4 days or something to figure it out.
That's a lot of time.
I'll figure it out.
There's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, but it's just all this background stuff that I'm just buzzing around in, but I'm excited to do the actual show. Sheepish, it starts on Wednesday.
Tasman Terrace.
Yes, 9 p.m.
of March to the 6th of April.
But so that's where my head is at.
Rad.
Yeah, hopefully.
It'll be so fun.
Hopefully.
Some buddies out there.
Yeah.
It's a good time of year.
It'll be good.
It's a fun time in Melbourne, isn't it? Comedy Festival.
Although all my friends are saying it's the worst. All
way
the people,
to plug it. Yeah.
No, all my friends are saying it's the worst time of year, astrologically, because apparently all these things are against you. Something's in return.
Saturn's return.
Yeah, something's happening. There's some eclipses. I don't really know, but apparently we're all feeling backwards.
Who knew that astrology would come back in, eh?
I thought, in a big way.
I thought that in 1994, that was it.
That was done? Wow.
And I would never read an astrology chart again.
It's huge. I think maybe it's TikTok or I don't know, but there's a bunch of they're not. I was going to call them mind readers. Mind readers. It's a bunch of people that read your birth charts or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's huge. I've heard of Chani is a big one. Anyway,
a TikTok astrologer.
That a lot of people
Can you send
just
in
vibe
your
with.
Details?
I think so. Yeah, and they'll do a reading. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
an excellent reading with one of my best friends when we were on our trip through India. I guess 15 years ago. Going on maybe closer to 20 years ago or something. I guess I was early 20s when we went. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was amazing.
Get to it. Get to the point. What's the?
You've just ruined it. You've ruined it with your rudeness. And now
writing all this flowery detail.
Sorry for
this. So it was 20 years ago. What happened?
Setting the scene for all of our listeners out there who haven't heard the story before.
Okay, you're 20 years ago.
I was there
India.
with a
Eat,
boyfriend
pray,
at the time. No Eat, Pray, Love, just a lot of naan, a lot of garlic naan.
Yeah.
And so we all went to have our astrology taken, and I was there with, a very distant ex of mine. And me and my friend came out and we had just the best readings of our lives.
Yeah.
We were just oh my God, life is just going to be amazing. So good. They're talking about all this great stuff. And then this ex of mine came out and he was just given some sort of Black Death card.
Oh, whoa.
And he was so bummed out by it all. It like it was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Because we were just like riding
on a high. Yeah.
He was really
you got the life
really
card.
strongly.
Yeah.
I've got to say we weren't very sympathetic and the relationship didn't really last.
Wow. Yeah.
I was told a few things in that reading.
Wow.
Wasn't
It
quite
came
right.
true?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it wasn't just because of that.
So that's, wow, you're hearing it here first. Astrologers are true. It works.
It works.
What a perfect way to get into our first guest, the wonderful astrologer. We've invited him along. It was a personalized reading. No, we have a very lovely stand-up comedian. He's also a writer for the project. So you're super. You do so many things. As we've learned, lots of creative people. You have to dabble. You have to have your hands in many different pies. But thank you, Rowan Thambar. I eventually got to your name. I'm so sorry.
I was like, say something. I'll wait for the name to be dropped before I
sorry. I took a little while, but Rowan, thanks so much.
I love this segue. I love it. Trip to India, brown guy immediately. Just the neural connections are firing everywhere.
Yes.
It's so great to be here. Thank you guys so much. I was trying
Rowan.
really hard not to laugh that whole time. I mean, Raywin.
Find a way of muting.
Yeah, I know. Raywin just saying, get to the point was the most little sister thing I have ever heard in my life. I'm the oldest in my family.
Oh, are you?
And I deal with that kind of shit all the time. It's dog shit. And they get away with it because they're so cute and incapable of doing anything.
Up to a point.
But no, it's awesome. I love this, and I said this to you guys before we started, but like the fact that you guys are sisters and doing a podcast and making something together, it rocks. It's so good.
Rowan.
Love it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
No, it really is.
It is
but
fun.
What we find really interesting is talking to people about where they come from and like how they got into this. And because we have variations on it.
Yeah, we're both a bit different with how we got into it, even though obviously the same upbringing and all those things, but we found it in different ways. And we do very different careers. I could never be an actor.
I'm not going near a stand-up comedy anytime in the near future. Thank you very much.
But I was interested though. I think I asked you in a roundabout way, but have you ever done any astrology or have you dabbled at all?
Not at all.
No. Do you know any about that world? Anything about that world?
Nothing. I've just heard the terms. I know that I'm a Leo.
Oh,
I don't know. You? Yeah. So I don't know. See, I'm always what does that mean to someone? Because am I brave?
I think so. I think you're Leos are often very confident.
Strong
and
personalities is what I remember from 1994.
I'm deeply
astrology.
insecure, so I don't know where that comes from. I think this astrology thing might not be that good.
Okay.
To do with your, what is it? Oh, it's terrible. People are going to hate this. Something rising.
It's all about the different moons rising.
When you were born. So it depends on the day and the continent.
And
so because obviously it's got
the
to
exact
do with
time,
the
so you can
where they were when you dropped.
Yeah. You dropped
my mum
such
describes
poise.
it more as a shooting out, but yeah, maybe
hopefully someone caught you.
Hey, wake up, new Rowan just dropped.
Hell yeah. Your dad was just loving this.
He was like, this is sick.
This is so disrespectful to your parents. And
my mum.
Been through
my mum is. My mum is so she will tell anyone who will listen my birth story.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah, I know all the beats. I know all the
really?
Yeah. It's awful.
Wow.
I feel like I was there. I mean, I was, but I feel like I was there.
Visceral,
yeah.
Well, you were going through your own journey.
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
do you remember?
I was just about to act out. Could you believe?
Hands first. I feel like you're about to dive out. Yeah.
That's
great.
not normally.
No. Anyway, I think I gave her a lot of grief. So because I was the oldest, or the first.
So you were the first. So how many do you have?
I have a little sister, a younger sister, and a younger brother.
Ah, okay. And is that either of them creative at all?
I would say they are, but they're not pursuing a creative career. Like my sister, she's a what's it called again? Pediatrician.
Yeah.
And my brother.
Oh, wow, that's very smart. Like, that's
yeah. Oh, dude, she's
I
so
believe they're a
intelligent.
doctor.
Yeah, that is what it is. Yeah.
Wow.
And my brother works in not IT, but it's like he works for the Commonwealth Bank as like a
wow.
data guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So but
very different.
But we all my parents all kind of wanted us to be well-rounded kids. So like we all had to do sport, we all had to do music, we all had to do speech and drama, like so because that was part of our upbringing in that like it was like we all had to do an instrument. So I learnt piano, my brother learnt piano, my sister learnt violin.
So you got to choose which one and
yes, but I also don't remember
whatever
choosing
spare instrument was around.
Well, dude,
start with piano.
Yeah, that was
violin,
that was like the big thing. They were like, if you can play the piano, you can play any instrument. It's like the New York of instruments. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere.
Also, if you don't make it in New York, it's fine.
That's right. Yeah, making it in Melbourne is so hard, dude. I don't know how hard New York is. But making it in Melbourne, like, let's try and I think it's a different kind of hard. Like New York, everyone's trying. So there's like here you have to pretend like you're not trying.
Yes.
To like,
That's
you know,
Australian, isn't it? Like just to pretend you've
don't want it.
You've been surfing all day.
Yeah.
Get off the wave.
Oh yeah, like what? Like,
shoot a Tarantino movie.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool if it works out, but I'm fine either way.
It's really tough, isn't it? Because it really sets you up to like not work hard for something and to not be proud of working hard.
Oh, 100%. I think, it's
hard.
Minimize or hide how hard you're working.
Yeah.
Which is really hard for everyone. And also I would like say not a great quality. Like that's certainly something that I'm teaching, try and like talk about with my kids is the opposite of that. Is really it's like what you what you apply to something. And that's what you really get out of it. Not the glory or the accolades, or even though those things are nice. At the end of the day, we all know it's really not that stuff, right?
Yeah. It's the practice of it. You know? I think 100%. I think part of my journey into being in the creative industry has been abandoning of the markers of what success looks like for the pursuit of the thing that brings me the most joy is the practicing the craft. Like that to me, and trying to refocus my brain in terms of I'm not looking for the award, or I'm not looking for getting into that particular thing or getting that particular job. So I'm gonna knock this over. And just kind of being like, how do I get better at this thing that I'm trying to do?
And stay focused on the thing that will actually bring you the satisfaction. When there are all these other distractions around.
But then it's
to other people's journeys.
100%.
But I was gonna say it can be so hard because sometimes it's the thing that you're that gives you the most joy is actually not very financially fulfilling, so you have to figure out, well, how can I juggle it and maybe do something that's runs parallel to that, or maybe something totally different, like myself that does farming, it's so different from comedy, but I really like it. So it's I guess finding different, I don't know, I think it's interesting talking to people how you can just make a living out of it, out of trying to do the thing that you really love, and it gives you fulfillment, but I still afford my clothes and food. 100%. It's really, it's tricky. So how's your bank account going? I trust you brought some statements we can look over.
My accountant's actually outside. We'll bring them in whenever they want. My bank account is...
no, you don't actually have to answer that.
That's an actual question.
That's fine.
Sorry, is this she's on the money?
Yeah.
I
No, but so what would you describe yourself? This is one of the first questions, which we've done in such a roundabout way. But what would you describe yourself as, in the tax forms, on the census, on any of those things where you have to be okay, I have to put one job down.
Where it says occupation.
Yeah. What do you put?
That's a really tricky question, and also different to the question I say at parties, because sometimes I'll like hide the fact that I do anything creative at parties.
That's what we're finding. I hate that. Or if you're at if you're in an Uber, like people are just like taxi. You just say admin or consultant.
That's
something.
Right,
exactly. Do you even say that too, Ada? I've actually never asked you. What do you say?
Yeah, that's funny. I find it really hard
to say actor.
To answer. Yeah, I find it hard to say actor.
Yeah.
Because then they're like, oh, what have I seen? Yeah. And then even sometimes if I say, well, you might have seen this show or something, it always backfires. Yeah. And they're always like, oh, yeah, I hate that show.
Yeah.
It's never a good answer to say, like, you might know me from this, because it's backfired so many times. And even like, you just have to always go like, I don't know, I don't think we've met, I don't know. You just have it just can never end well. I think they're like, oh, you might have seen me in this. It's always a dagger to the heart.
You gotta wait till someone else brings it up. You gotta wait till they come in and go, oh, did you know this? And then you kind of bat it away sheepishly, and then you go, that's a plug for Rowan.
Thank you. Who picked up on it? My ears were ringing.
Tasman Terrace, 26th of March to the 6th of April.
And then, but yes, I think it's the imposter syndrome also, right?
For sure.
There is like something really, as soon as you say, hey, I'm a comedian, hey, I'm a writer, hey, I'm an actor, hey, I'm a musician, there is this immediate thing that goes, no, you're not. And it's like, and it's really, it's not good.
It's not nice.
It's not good at all.
I think sort of like, prove it to me.
Yeah.
Like
because that's what ends up happening, right?
Yeah.
In those conversations.
Yeah.
Where someone goes,
that's true.
Okay, well, you're an actor or you're a comedian. Will I have seen you on anything? What do you like? Have you done this or that? And you know, I think for a while I really resented that, right? I thought, you know, like, it's not about what I've done, you know? It's not what but then I watched like my sister or my dad, who are both doctors. You know, it's I know, my huge claim to fame.
Yeah.
They both get their own version of that, which is they go, yeah, I'm a doctor. And then inevitably in the conversation, hey, I've actually got this like weird thing in my left elbow.
Can you fix
do
this
you mind?
wart?
Like, do you think this like gross fungus is?
Yeah.
And it's and I think, oh shit, like that is your do you do the comedy festival? Like,
give me a joke.
Tell us a joke. And I think people do that. I don't think it's malicious. Sometimes I think it's like people are just trying to connect.
Yeah.
And I found my relationship to what I do and me feeling insecure about it is what they are kind of pushing, and it's kind of like sore, and I'm like, oh, like maybe they're just trying to be nice. Like maybe
I think you're right. I think that often people just are, and they're curious too, because it's sort of like a bit like of an enigma.
Yes.
I mean, if you don't know someone who is in one of those careers, it's sort of like mysterious, and people probably all think like everyone's Ben Stiller. Or, you know, like you just live in whatever kind of rock star life.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And then I think there's also the other aspect, which is when you do feel like entertaining that conversation, be like, you feel the days you feel, I'm like, I'm a comedian.
Yeah.
Like, what do you reckon? And then they go, oh, do you like X person? And then you're like, their
like
taste.
The worst. Like, do you like Bill Crosby?
It's like they start doing the impression.
Bill Crosby as mixing up my
you. They're like, oh yeah, you really remind me of Bill Cosby's comedy.
Yeah.
You put it in the pudding.
Yeah. Get it all the time. But like someone that will just bring up someone so ridiculous, but that's their only way in to try to connect to you.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And then you're immediately like, I don't want to say that the person that you like sucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you have terrible taste in comedy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. So
anyway, so what do I put on my form? I think that's where we started. Yeah. I put writer. Yeah. Because I also have worked in marketing. Yes. So I've worked as a copywriter. So often it's like copywriter, writer.
Yeah.
I feel like that is I would say that is that, like, going back to the idea of craft. It's like that is what I think I feel like I try to work on every day.
Yeah. And so you still write now, right? Like at the moment. Yeah. And do you feel like you get a different kind of satisfaction out of it? Like, what is it that you get out of that? Or do you really enjoy that as well? Because similarly, really creative.
Yeah.
Just different kinds of deadlines, different kinds of.
Yeah, totally. I think being a comedian is such a within itself is such a multi-hyphenate kind of thing. I mean, Ray, when you would understand, like, I feel like when you're doing a show at the comedy festival, particularly if you're not produced by anyone or not managed by anyone,
like
you are the producer, you are the writer, you are the performer, you are the director, you
press play on the music.
Exactly.
And then you're at times you're the greeter.
And then you're the
like,
flyer.
You're like people, you're like, hey,
the promoter outside.
Can you sit in that seat? Like there are so many hats and so many parts to the job that I forget where I was going with this, but I think that there is like so many different facets to that sit under comedian.
Yeah.
So I think
writing, I guess, is just a part of it because like you do have to write like your bits. Obviously, a lot of people do the writing like on stage by talking, but are you someone that like you sit down and you write?
Yeah,
like you treat it like a job?
100%.
Start to finish.
I'm very scripted, at least with the first draft of my joke. Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like, and so many people do it. And I try to write on stage, but I'm so dog shit at it.
Oh,
like,
really?
I'm really bad at it. Like I think I don't trust myself. I say so many likes and ums.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm trying really to get rid of that at the moment.
Me too.
But but
because
writing
it's the
really
worst
helps,
because I mean, I think we've brought this up before, but because doing these shows every night, you're kind of expected to listen back so that you can learn, so that you can rephrase things or figure out what works because your memory isn't always as accurate. So you want to listen and that's when you can start nitpicking. You're like, you're thinking, why did I say like so many times? Or why did I sound so hesitant and like mumble that word? That was the punchline and it didn't work because of that. And so you're just in this little, loophole.
It's hard to stay constructive.
Yes.
And to not be critical.
Yeah, definitely.
In a way, isn't it?
Yeah. And so maybe that's why like a lot of comedians are quite self-conscious because you have to be so self-aware and self-critical of everything to grow. So it's probably not very healthy.
I think I feel like the biggest, what would I say, growth I've had in this particular area between that is understanding that, again, with the whole we wear so many hats, writing is a very different thing to editing. And often, like, you'll be trying to write a bit and then your editor brain will come in real early and start like saying, oh, that needs work, that before you've even got that first draft out. And so like a lot of peace has come from the idea that I'm like, well, let me just let my little like childlike brain write that first shitty draft before that editor part of me, the critical part of me, comes in and makes it better. Because that's all it wants to do. It's like, oh, I'll just like try and like make this better. And it's just like, I haven't worked out how to separate those two things. But once I figured out that those are two different parts to me that are important, because you do need to edit your work. Otherwise you're just doing the same stuff over and over again and it's not working. But yeah, like I think that was my biggest thing. When I was like, oh, cool. Like I can just switch between those.
Yeah.
I think you've just perfectly described though the creative process of creating something because it's the same as like rehearsing a play or, we talked to Chuck Jenkins and he was talking about writing a song. It's sort of like you've got to explore like all of the different options and again and again and again. And that's part of the rehearsal and part of the, you've got to let all those creative juices because otherwise you can't come up with the magic. If you're cutting it off before you've even had a chance to like let the tree grow. And then you prune it back in, over time. And that's all part of the process. Like,
100%.
And it's it can take ages.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the thing, I guess, with the career in the creative arts.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you monetize that? Because all of that can take hours and hours and hours and hours. And then you get up there and do one show and, tickets are $15 and whatever. Like, it's
But so what did you go to uni?
Yeah, I did go to uni. I didn't have a choice in this matter. My immigrant parents are like, yeah, you better
get a degree.
I remember floating the idea, hey, what if I don't go? I'll tell you what, it was a silent dinner.
Exchange?
It was
okay.
It was
I think that's even worse.
Crazy.
Than
Yeah. There was no way I was
from year 12.
Year 12.
And what did you study?
I had to explain what a gap year was to my parents. My parents had no idea. They were like, sorry, what do you do with the year?
Yeah.
I go,
What's
well,
the
I just
point?
kind of like take a break and I just figure out who I am. And
might go to Germany.
And they're like,
Spain.
you have your whole life to figure out who you are.
I mean, that's kind of true.
Yeah.
I mean, they do make a valid.
It's a good point, right? It's like, what, you're gonna do that, knock that over in a year?
And then you'll have it sorted out.
Yeah, and it's pretty kind of pretentious.
I think one trip to India is gonna do that.
Yeah, and by the time I'm 19, I'll know myself because I spent 6 months in India.
I mean, so much about getting older. I just turned 30 last year, and it's like, who I am 10 years ago to who I am now.
Oh yeah.
Don't you just?
It's horrible.
Cringe at the idea of what
you
that,
do cringe.
And you don't know that when you're 20. You feel like I'm the oldest I've ever been. I'm an adult.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
But it's
wow.
It's
so what did you go to?
We all feel like that.
Yeah. So what did you go to uni for?
I studied a double degree in finance.
Yeah.
And media.
So
and a minor in theatre.
Oh, okay.
So what you can hear there is compromise.
Yeah.
I studied compromise for 4 years.
Very good.
You did it for 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It was 2 years for each degree essentially.
Wow. Yeah. So did they? Because we've talked to some people where it's been really like they have to sit down with their parents and like go through the book and their parents have helped them choose that direction. Were you like, no, I think I could work in finance. So you kind of made that decision or was it?
I mean, I don't think I could work in finance. But I liked economics when I was in high school.
Oh, really?
I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I used to watch the budget just for fun.
Wow.
What?
Occasionally, I still dabble. Yeah.
Really?
I'm like, what are those discretionary payments?
That's so weird.
What's going on?
That is
Wait, it's like their Super
Wow.
Bowl. When you think of it, it's like an economist Super Bowl, the budget.
Yeah.
That and every Tuesday of the month when the RBA decides what monetary policy is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Tuning in.
It's quite rare for a stand-up, I reckon.
Really
Someone who
is,
does
yeah.
comedy to also like dabble in finance.
Yeah.
I just...
I love it.
I think I don't know what I liked about it. I think it's because maybe money affects all of how... You know what economics is about? It's about decision making.
Yeah.
And I think that's like what our entire lives are based on, really.
Yeah.
It's like how we make good decisions.
It's also like it can change. It's fickle, right? Like also the thing with economics is it can change and like there's been heaps of circumstances where very good economists haven't predicted what's going to happen and something different.
That's right.
So there's something actually really creative about it too.
Yeah.
And you're studying data, I guess.
Yeah, quite
in
interesting.
a different way,
you're trying to see the trends and apply logic to it.
Exactly. Like that. Yeah. I can actually understand that.
And people are at the heart of it as well. Like behavioral economics is so interesting because that is like, that's all the stuff around like, okay, well, if like when you walk through the aisle at Coles and you see like the yellow sticker that says that's on special.
You're saving money.
And you're like, I'm saving money. But then you realize, well, no, they're the ones setting the fucking price.
Yeah.
It's like, am I? They're letting me walk away with this but they wouldn't do that if it didn't benefit them in some kind of way.
Yes.
And so the way that you walk out feeling like a winner is part of how that all works.
Yeah.
And so it kind of connects with my creative brain in the sense that like stand-up is so much about observing and art in general is about observing, perceiving, and then reflecting things back, right? And so I think the observing part of it and with economics was like so interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, so
You've got good passion about it. I can see it. You're like, woo.
That's so interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you get to write about stuff like this? Do you put this into your bits? Do you ever do?
No, but maybe I should.
Yeah. Maybe stuff. Are you still writing for like some TV? Because there's quite a bit of crossover stuff like that.
I write the project. Yeah.
So like topical stuff like that must come up, and you need to research it as well as writing an entertaining story. Yeah. Beginning, middle, and end.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. But often I think that would. I think that often in the part of the business or the show I'm in. It is very much just about jokes. So often I'll be like, oh, but this is like an interest, and everyone's like, dude, who cares? Like,
funny.
Just tell the joke. Like, what's the joke? Like, and so that's part of. I have to put that away sometimes. But also,
we want to laugh, and that's at 7 p.m. We want to. Is it 6:30? 7? Whatever.
Yeah, whatever. 6:30. I couldn't remember for a second.
Is it actually in the title? No,
it used to be, but then they changed it to the project. Yeah. Because now it's an amorphous time.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So no, I don't get to as much as I'd like to, but I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like a lot of. There are some other comedians that have finance backgrounds, like people like Saran.
Like Saran, I was gonna say,
and I'll often tell him those jokes because I'm like, you know,
he'll
appreciate them.
Yeah, love
that's
it.
right.
Like I just love, I think, watching or hearing someone talk about something they're really passionate about, or no, even if I don't know anything about.
Yeah. I mean, there's those like shows specifically marketed towards teachers and things like that. You could do one towards financial analysts. I mean, it's less of a catchy title.
Yeah.
Similar to
financial analyst fun hour.
Yeah, there you go. Economics.
Open economics. Comedy.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's almost
there. We go.
There.
This is good stuff.
This will be next year's comedy festival. You've got 12 months.
Yes. But so how did you get into, so you're at uni, you're studying finance, media. How did you think about doing comedy? Was comedy something that you grew up with?
Comedy I actually started before university.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was doing drama just as like one of my electives when I was in like year 9 and year 10.
Yeah.
And because I always wanted to be an actor. I wanted to be an actor.
Whoa.
And I wanted to be a what's it called again? A child star. That's what I get more than anything. I wanted to be a child star.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, because I used to watch like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I used to like watch all these shows and be like, oh man,
saw
what a
My
life.
Girl, and
what a life.
That Macaulay Culkin.
He's friends with Michael Jackson. Everything's going really well for him. Anyway, that didn't age that well.
Yeah, that didn't work out in the end.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't become a child star, but I remember when I turned 18 that it was just like,
oh no,
my dreams are over.
Oh, you were shattered.
So I was like,
you missed out.
Yeah, but anyway, so I did drama in year 9 and 10, and my drama teacher at the time, we did like a component on improv, and I was really enjoying it, and she was like, oh hey, like you seem pretty good at this. You seem like you like it. Like there's this thing called Class Clowns. I got an email about it.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like a program the Comedy Festival run. Right. And it's for kids who are like, you know, dabbling in comedy. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And I went to this like, it was like a youth center or something like that. Yeah. And it was just me and Sammy J.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just like in this room. There was no other kid
awesome.
In Newcastle in 2010 wanted to be well, he had a piano and I had a piano. I also was doing musical comedy at the time.
How amazing, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And
like Sammy J's eyes would have just been like this love heart. You're like, yes, this is my perfect person. I'm going to mold you.
Yeah, actually. And he was so lovely. Like he's the best. Such a sweet man. And he kind of told me workshop my stuff. And anyway, so that's how I kind of got into it. I like did the like national final or whatever, and they flew me and mum down to Melbourne. And I remember,
or whatever. It's a big deal. It's a town hall.
It was
in front of like 1,000 odd people.
Oh,
when you're 8, how old are you?
I was 16 or something.
Wow.
And I was obsessed with Mitch Hedberg at the time. So all the photos of me, I am wearing pink sunglasses and wearing a little suit. I remember
Rocking it.
Pete Hellier was one of the one of the judges.
Beautiful man.
Oh yeah.
And another awesome guy. And I remember afterwards I was like, "Hey man, do you have any tips for me? Do you have any tips for me?" And he was like, that was my voice. And he was like, "Yeah, buddy." He was like smoking a cigarette out the front. He's like, "Yeah, man, maybe just like lose the glasses." Such good advice.
Wow.
Well, he was right about that, maybe.
Yeah, totally.
Oh,
So that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Were you
Wow.
nervous? Like, or was that like performing there? Was it like, this is everything I've ever wanted?
Yeah,
I
this
feel
is
like I'm exactly
big
where I want
break.
to be. Or was it like, holy shit, I can't do this?
It was kind of a bit of both. I think because I just had no expectation. Do you remember? I don't know if you ever remember doing stuff when you had zero expectations of what it like meant or cared about where it went.
There's
I think
freedom in that,
there was
isn't
such
there?
a beautiful freedom. So I was kind of like just happy to be there.
Oh.
I remember thinking. I remember being kind of fine with the performance because I'd done Eisteddfods and stuff like that as a kid. I was a classically trained piano player or whatever. And so I would do these like concerts and
stuff.
stuff.
The big performance
And so
used to
performing-
judges,
yes,
I guess, too.
exactly.
So you're kind of used to the feedback.
That's right. Yeah. So I wasn't terribly afraid of the performance aspect. I wanted to do well. I wanted to win. Like there was a competitive side to me.
Was it improv? Sorry, just to interrupt you. Or had you written that?
No, I'd written a song. I'd written a song about how I was a telemarketer who kept being hung up on. And I wanted to write something from their perspective because,
As a 16-year-old?
Yeah. Well, because I think it's so ingrained in my in the cultural aspect. I grew up in Newcastle in like the early 2000s. There weren't that many brown kids around, so it was like such a point of connection and so it was really just out of that. But yeah, anyway, that's how I did.
Oh, cool. Were your parents they must have been proud, even if they didn't think of it as like being a
I don't think they,
a career.
I don't know. I think they must be, but they are very proud of me.
Yeah.
So they were like, the amount of it's something you can do on the side conversations we had around that time. Yeah, huge.
Yeah, they were scared of you actually thinking you could do it for real. This being your only income stream potentially.
100%. So there's been an inbuilt pragmatism. We're talking about how do we balance creativity and how do we make it a job? That pragmatism has deeply embedded inside of me.
I think that's good though. I think it's good to have a bit of both. I don't know. I think it's
where
good to
are
be
you guys at? Yeah,
I think it's good to be practical. I don't know.
I've had mixed feelings about it over the years. My relationship with the practicality versus fuck it. Let me just go and do the thing. Let me be the artist. I want to do that. Yeah. And I have oscillated between the two. I agree with you in the I'm at the place now where I'm pretty pragmatic, I think.
Yeah.
And in fact, kind of see the benefit of having had day jobs while I've been doing stand-up.
Yeah.
Because I did for a year, I had my gap year when I was in 2018 after I finished uni and I had just done Comedy Zone.
You were determined to have that gap year.
Dude, I was like, let me have it. And
I need to find myself.
Yeah, totally. And this is how much I remember when I left uni, all my friends were either lawyers or going to PwC, Deloitte, they were all consultants or something.
Oh, okay.
And so they were all doing this internship year.
Yeah.
And I remember the same year I got Comedy Zone, which is where the comedy festival pick 4 people and they're you do the festival for a whole month. And
which is a big deal because
deal.
they they handpick people around the festival. So it means you get this introduction to the festival without actually having to put in any money or having to think about all those things. So it's it's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. And I used to tell people this is like getting an internship at Deloitte or a law firm.
It's hard to explain to outside people how impressive that is that you got Zone.
Because they're oh, okay, whatever. Comedy Zone. But I was like, no, this is like me getting a very intense internship. And that's how I sold it to my parents. And then after that, I was like, okay, for a year I'm just gonna focus on stand up. And I think I was just so immature at that stage, to the point where I was like, I think I enjoyed telling people I was a comedian more than I liked doing comedy, which is
that's
like
interesting.
Such a, like, I look back and cringe on it, but I had to really, because I did nothing that year. I put together a show by the end of that year, like for the 2019 Comedy Festival, but I did not work on it nearly as hard as I should have. I was like coasting. I was kind of being like, yeah, I'm a comedian, but I was just wasting my time.
Yeah.
And living the lifestyle of it without the actual
substance. Exactly. Yeah. And I think now it was an important year for me to have that mindset, because I came out of the year going like, you can't waste
do that again.
You can't do that again. And so now and I was also miserable that year, I think, because all of my identity, all of my who I was riding on every gig and every opportunity and everything that did or didn't come my way. And so I was more miserable than ever, because I was like stressed about money. I was stressed about like, you know, what all these men. And so when I finally got a job, I was so much happier.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I happier now?
Yeah.
And then I just realized, oh, like a job gives me the freedom to fool around and be silly and be creative in a way that I don't, which I didn't have when it was all on stand-up.
Exactly.
And I was like, man, there was like so much pressure on that.
Yeah.
And taking that pressure off made me really find my joy with stand-up again, because I was like, yeah, I'm just doing this because it's fun.
Yeah.
And then I think it made my craft better. It helped me figure out those decisions about like, okay, well, if I'm not doing this for strictly cash, or if I want to get really good at this, then I need to just focus on getting better at this, whether I'm working in a job or whether I'm doing it full time. Like I just need to
put the time in.
Yeah. And so I think, that was like a really crucial
structure around it or something.
Yeah. So I feel like I hope I'm being funny enough on this podcast. But
this is fascinating.
It's not all about getting to
jokes?
the joke.
Okay, great.
It's not all about
just not something that comedians want to hear.
Yeah, I know. And like,
wait, it's not about the joke?
Because I really like talking
about the joke.
So let's
not
tighten
like
things up, bro.
about the jokes.
But I love talking about this stuff, because it is so much about how we get to where we make stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And I think it's really interesting though, because I totally understand your idea of being practical, but then there's also that you do need to just kind of put yourself out there and embrace it and just be like, well, I need to try, I guess, and see where I land. And you've got to run off and maybe embrace surround yourself just in comedy full time to try to work it out. But then I'm a bit like you, where I go between the two. I think it's good to have the practical, or to at least have something in your day that you can then even talk about. Because if you're not doing something and you're not if you're not using your head in other ways, then I think you're not you don't have these meaningful things to say. I don't know. It's tricky.
That reminds me of something. I think it was Serlo who we were talking to.
Yeah.
Who was talking a lot about how just having a connection with the world more, which often comes through a different hobby or a job,
100%.
helps to keep you grounded and give you material and drive you to actually write about the thing. Otherwise, we can all just, it happens to all of us, but you can just start drinking the Kool-Aid and just like get all a bit too, well, not just drinking the Kool-Aid, but just thinking too much about what I am and
your
am
own
I an
little
actor,
like
or am I not an
chamber.
actor? Yes, in the echo chamber of, and it's just not real, and it's just not grounded, and it's not making stuff. It's not doing what you actually want to be doing, which is probably interacting with people and getting inspired and taking an idea from here and an idea from here and writing it down. So if that means it's another job to give you that, then of course it makes sense. That's gonna be way more satisfying. Particularly as you were saying in the beginning, that's what you really find that you love about it is the doing it, the writing it, the doing it.
Yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be.
Learning how to tell the story.
What's the point?
I mean, the other stuff is nice, and it's why you kind of get into it, why you think about it, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's so true. Like that lifestyle thing, like you know, you could be like, it's a Monday in the middle of the day, you're in Perth. Like, you know, like it's unreal. Like that kind of like, that kind of lifestyle aspect of it.
Yeah. And it's friendly and like joyful.
Awesome.
Making people laugh is joyful.
Yes.
Like,
and that's why you do it. But there is a difference between the enjoying of that. It just can't come at the cost of the doing of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting one.
So what do you think about this as being a choice of a career? Like, would you recommend? Would you recommend this as a career? Do you turn around to your parents and say like, no, I'm fine. I'm glad, like, you know, you don't need to worry.
Yeah, that's a good question. What do I think about this choice? I actually want to, I've thought about starting a podcast called Rowan Could Have Been a Doctor, which is about me just trying to like be me going full in on this idea that like, no, creativity, I'm going to get everything I could have been out of a doctor. Because the reason why my parents wanted me to be a doctor was they wanted me to be like doctors have a high paying income. Yeah. They have status within the community. People respect them. Yeah. They're recession proof in terms of a job. Like it doesn't matter whether the economy's up or down.
We'll always have
like people are always going to be sick, you know? Yeah. And so
it's noble too.
It's noble. People. That's right. Yeah. So you're literally
ticking a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
It's an incredible occupation. Yeah. And I think I was like, my whole life I've been determined to get all of those things from a creative career. And I think the reason that I departed and really am doing everything that I really do is because I am a little bit trying to prove, not just to my parents necessarily, but more conceptually, like my whole the cultural background I come from, that this is possible. Yeah. Because it's still very new. You can
get all of that stuff out of being a writer, being a creative person. Being a creative.
Yeah, 100%, because it's still so new to us because like there were artists and stuff and people like, you know, in Sri Lanka, like, you know, in every culture there is that. But I think to make a full career out of it is very new to particularly people that have immigrated who are like, well, I've just got to go where the jobs are. I've got to just do what people need me to do. Like it's so pragmatic.
And also have sacrificed so much to so your parents immigrated to Australia or their parents?
Yeah. Well, their families kind of all came. Yeah.
So and such sacrifice, isn't there, to come and to give your kids the chance of an education and of doing that.
100%.
Pressure you inherit.
It is, and so there is a the thing I deal with the most in terms of like my inner life is feeling guilty for wasting that because I feel like it's too much. It's too much pressure. It's too much pressure. Yeah. And I need to like my whole life is my wife, my friends telling me like, hey man, like let that go. Yeah. But it's like
lower your expectations. You're okay just as you are.
I know. I really try.
You really are.
But it's it is like this thing where it's like my parents wanted to create a better life for the next generation.
Yeah, of course.
I want to create a life for the next generation that's better.
Me too.
But I think that means being more vocal and being more of like who
you are.
We're supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And I think everyone feels that way.
Yeah.
No matter where you kind of come from, I think that's pretty universal.
Exactly.
You know?
To not be stuck like, you could have been a doctor, but like maybe you just wouldn't have been a happy doctor. Like it would have led you down this path of like feeling really like just depressed and like, you know, so that wasn't in your cards because
totally
I think
no one wants to live a life like that.
Well,
even if you have the status, like what's the point if you're not happy about it, you know?
Right. I think I would have made it great. I've thought about this. I think I would have fucking killed it as a doctor. I would have walked in, just been like, you're gonna die. Nah, just jokes.
It would kind of be nice to have a little like joke leading into
my bedside manner would be impeccable.
Yes, you would be a very good doctor.
But But anyway.
Just depressed on the inside, but you wouldn't show it. Right. You know, I think that's the important thing that we don't know.
And I think the other thing was also coming to terms with the fact that I like helping people. I think that's something that I forget with being creative is that it feels so about you. And there's that like part of the imposter syndrome is like, well, you're making a career all about you. You selfish little dog.
But it's the opposite. It's about other people.
That's right. The story. That's right. Like you're sharing
think of it
stuff.
The opposite way.
Yes. And I think maybe that's the comedian actor divide, because comedy is such a self-absorbed form. Even in like compared to like music. But
not when you get up and do it, right? Because when you're getting up and doing it, it's for the people there. Like it's for the
it's all about their reaction.
It should be. But you'd be surprised how often it's about you.
Yeah,
right. Because it's about them laughing, or it's about them going like, or you know, like going through the stages of the story and their experience and changing them and keeping them in focus for this, 50 minutes that you're there, or making them cry. But you're the one, the
comedian's the one that's doing the tension, and like that they've rehearsed and they know how to do this, and so they know what reaction. So they're like the puppet master, behind the scenes, like I'm controlling you all.
Yeah, actually.
Sure you are, Rowan.
Yeah, we're a very humble, humble group of puppeteers.
Puppet master.
You will do as I say.
I think that maybe is the difference, but I know like when the times, and there have been many, that like my acting has truly been atrocious. It's because I'm very self-conscious. It's because I'm thinking about how I look, or I feel terrible in this, or I'm not doing this very well, or they're not laughing, or they're not, and that's when I'm totally self-conscious. That's when I'm actually
that's true of
in
like stand-up. If you're
thinking about
absolutely
who it is, I'm doing a scene with this person, I'm making a cake and I'm divorcing them. And like that, those are the things that I'm getting out of the scene.
Yeah.
And like those are the times when I think I really perform my best. There's no self-consciousness at all.
Yeah. That is the dream.
Yeah.
That is really the dream when you are there's like a self-forgetfulness in that experience. I think the thing I struggle with, or the balance, is because I often think, well, I want to be like, so much of art is like expression, your own expression, and like you're funneling it through the jokes, through the scenes, and
but it's your own twist on it. You're trying to be your own little true to you, or
it's
100%,
so that you can stand out in a way, but try to be brave in making that like you.
I just don't know, like, because sometimes you're like, oh, this one's for me, this one's for them. Like there's a tension I find when I'm making stuff. I'm like, I know that you're not gonna like this as much, but I like it.
But it's important for me to tell it.
And sometimes there's a balance in that, you know, between doing what's best for the audience and what's best for you.
Yes.
And I get it wrong a lot in terms of that. Like,
I mean,
how could you not?
It's something that's
part of the process.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the great thing about art, I guess, isn't it? And performance. It's never the same twice.
So you just released your first like stand-up special.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
You so much. Yeah.
Great.
So,
last night.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So how, like, what was like the lead up, the preparation of it all, and like that's such a massive thing. Like a culmination really of your whole career to this point. I know I'm not trying to make it, trying to scare you too much. But I mean, totally. Like for most comedians, I mean, I would be scared shitless, like filming a special and putting it out there. Like I think doing it is different because it's just like, oh, this is just for the people in the room.
Now they're all filming it. And
but it's different to like do that. It's a huge undertaking, and
congratulations.
Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, I'm very proud of it.
So that's the biggest thing that I think.
And
you gotta be.
I think so. I wanted to. The reason I wanted to do a special, it's like, you know, a special is a quote unquote word because it's like, what is a special? We don't really know what it means. It's like a way for a comedian to like an album. You know, musicians have albums. Yeah. We have specials. Like they're essentially what it is. True. It's a showcase, is what I think it is, of where you're at that particular moment. Yeah. Personally, professionally, like creatively, like all of that. Yeah. And so that's what I kind of wanted to do. The reason I wanted to do it is because and there's a practical reason and there's a creative reason, which is, I feel like, perfect for the creative reason was because I feel like in the culture that we live in, particularly with comedy, we don't really finish anything. I don't like. We do a comedy show and we finish a run of a show. Yeah, and then the show just disappears into the ether, doesn't it? And all of that work, all of those late nights, all of that writing, all of those like back and forth, like it just it flows up into the air. And I feel like I was at a place in my career where I was like, I want to finish something. I really want to be like, I want this to be the end of it. Yeah, and I want it to be like, great. Now I'm done. Now I don't have to do those jokes anymore. I can figure out. I can start again. So part of filming the special was wanting to do that, and then part of it was also honoring. It's a bit of a self-love type thing, to be honest. It's like I've spent so much time on this. I deserve to like make it look good and be proud of this, and show people and go, hey. So I think those were the creative, artsy reasons why I did it. Pragmatically, the reasons I did it though was because you gotta make money. I mean, it cost me. Yeah, releasing it on YouTube. I know, right? Big payday. Huge. That is the sound of my wallet. I mean, that's why when you were like the bank account question at the start, I was like, well, pretty not great.
Good timing.
But no,
just wait.
That's right. So much of making art and shipping art is online. Yeah. And so the way it is to get someone to put their shoes on, get dressed, leave their house, sit in a room for an hour, it's a lot of work. Yeah. But to click a link is like it's a button, their thumb moves from the side of their phone to the screen. And I feel like I just wanted it to be I wanted it to be more accessible to people. This is like the other thing. It's like, you know, I think it's just easier for people to engage with you if they can see something online. Yeah. And so I wanted to clip it up. I'm gonna put it out. Like I'm gonna drip feed it, serve the algorithm. God, you know, like. But that was like also the reason why. And man, I did this show at the Comedy Festival in 2023. I think like, I want to say maybe 100 people saw it over the 2 weeks that I did it. And already 400 people have seen it now. Like I just don't know how to get that level. Yeah, you've got a whole new audience. It's just.
People are just consuming things very differently, aren't they? So
and I left that
to adapt to.
Yeah, where the audience is. Yeah, that's you're 100% right. And that comes back to that idea of like, who's it for, them or for you? Because sometimes I'm like, well, yeah, in doing a live show is great for me because I just get to do it once and then no one, if it's bad, no one ever has to see it. Yeah. But now I have to live with this thing for the rest of my life. Like it's on the internet, which is pretty much forever.
Yeah. But like you said, you don't have to do it again. So you don't have to watch it anymore.
That's right. But the thing is, here's the crazy part. I like it. Like I like the work. Like I'm proud
that's
of
the
it.
Dream.
You've succeeded.
Yes. I mean, that is the dream.
It's
I mean,
a bit arrogant. I feel
even you have said you don't like watching yourself. Like, you know, imagine being proud of your work. Oh, God. Well, like you've reached it. This is the pinnacle, Rowan.
Yeah. It doesn't get any better than this. But here's the thing. When I finished the Comedy Festival in 2023 with this show, I hated the show.
Oh.
I hated comedy. I hated myself. I thought I'm not good enough.
You feel like a failure.
I feel like a failure.
Is that just because of the festival at large? Because it is kind of like it breeds this competitiveness of like it's you're constantly seeing the feed of everyone else's like shows. Oh, another sold out night. And I mean, I also did a show the 2023. Like, yeah, it wasn't like maybe 100 people total. Like it's not massive crowds, but you're just trying to enjoy what you're doing every night. You're in your own, you're not trying to listen to all the noise of everyone else in the festival because that's just everywhere. You're seeing how well everyone else is doing all the time. Like, yep, okay, well, I just want to do it really well to these two people that have paid, that have probably got babysitters out and like, you know, they've decided to come.
My dad and my sister.
They've decided to come and I'm going to do this show.
20 minutes late.
Oh, dear. But I think that's like the
sore point.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sore point for our family.
But given it is a real thing. I think it's not healthy for, I think the comedy festival gets it right in a lot of ways, that it's really great that the outside world, outside of comedy can like see comedians do these shows, but it's also can be so hard and it's a really stressful time.
Yes.
So I absolutely don't think like you're alone in that feeling from coming out of that show. And even if it was great to those 100 people, I'm sure they were like, that was like really good.
They loved it. That's
the
thing.
So
well, I mean, you can't make everyone love it, but you know, but overall, people love going to see comedy. And I think often people don't analyze it anywhere near as much as we do.
Yeah, 100%. I'm like, this bit connects to this bit. And this bit, like a psycho, like, you know.
And it touches people in different ways.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Touches people.
Oh, God.
Weird. That's a weird way of putting it, wasn't it?
To be wanker about it.
God. Hey, I was just going to ask, do you have any advice? What would you give to like the tiny version of yourself?
Yeah.
Now looking back, like to that 16-year-old, what would you say now? Do you have any advice?
The little Rowan that wanted to be a child star.
Don't do that.
Confidence. He was confident.
He was, I
don't know. Yeah. What have you learned
I would
that
say,
you would say to that?
I would say, make sure you like doing comedy more than you like telling people you do comedy. I think that would be the first thing. Yeah. Because that would kind of help me undo years of living that lifestyle over focusing on the craft.
Yeah, it's a real humble learning, that one.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in the bright lights of someone just saying your name.
100%, which feels really good and is the thing that you think you're chasing, but it's actually not.
Yeah.
I think also maybe making stuff makes you feel better. You'll feel better about yourself when you spend an hour of the day in the morning like making something.
Just do the thing.
Yeah. And when you go to whatever like dog shit job. I used to post photos for Marsha Hines' Instagram. Like it was like such like the worst job I've ever had in my life.
What?
Anyway, anyway.
It sounds so bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Wait,
anyway.
No, let's go back. So you were the social media manager for Marsha Hines of all people.
Yeah, it was like this digital marketing agency that focused on. They went bust. And didn't pay anyone super out. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
fuck them. Anyway.
But let's just clarify, it's not Marsha Hines' fault.
No. She's a beautiful angel who I really enjoyed those 6 months I posted her sandwich photos onto her Instagram for her.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you got paid? I mean, not in super. I'm so sorry.
No,
but you got paid.
Yeah, I got paid.
It sounds amazing to me because I can't do the social media.
No.
I just can't. It's terrible. It's actually sort of a problem.
Well, that's just...
You're very brave to admit that.
I guess you probably just mail this podcast to me. It'll be just like in a CD-ROM. I'm like, what do I do with a CD-ROM?
You'll get a printout with the like
the
white
transcript
on the side.
Yeah.
Those.
Like a fax?
Yeah.
Amazing pictures that had the like
those reams of yeah. And they already had the dotted lines on them. Yes,
That's
you had to pull it.
The paper the thing. That was awesome. God, those were the days, weren't they? If only life was
yeah, we could go back to that.
Social media.
Yeah.
I need someone who can do that job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want a job?
Well, I will say
after this whole conversation.
Yeah. Way too expensive.
Yeah.
I will say on the social media point, because I think it relates to the commercial aspect of it.
Yeah.
Sorry to get this serious, but I feel like if people are listening to this podcast, they're like probably thinking about these things. But I'm in this space where I've just finished making the thing.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to promote the thing.
Oh God.
And my relationship to that process has changed too. And I'm trying to make it better where and it makes it easier to have a product rather than a service where it's like, come see my show.
Yeah.
Like that, I think is a different sell to like, hey, go watch this.
That's interesting.
Which I'm very much excited, very excited that is now it and makes it easier.
It's way more empowering, isn't it?
Yeah. But the amount, like every day I have a little self-talk to myself being like, Rowan, like this is a good piece of work. You've got to just go out and be confident in it, you know?
That's great.
But like, so much of it is believing in yourself, which every creator just goes, oh, blah, blah,
yeah.
But you just have to.
But we're all dying inside.
Try.
Yeah.
It goes back to what you said, Ray, with like, you have to try. Like, you've just gotta and what else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, and we spend so much time making the thing. You've got to spend like double the time selling it.
Yeah.
At some point, you have to let this creative baby out into the world, and I think everyone goes.
Yeah.
I hope it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And it's, it's also like 9 months growing the thing. Terrible to my mum says 3 days for me.
He shot out.
Eventually.
That's slippery. He could not hold on.
But then it's 18 years of parenting, or like, and that part of the job is so much harder, right? Like, like that is. Sorry,
I don't know. Is it?
It's got
as a mum of 3.
Where do I start? I don't know. I'm only 6 years in, so I don't know. Like,
you've still got
I'm a third of the
12
way through.
years to go. At least.
That's so long.
Yeah. That's so long. Yeah. So sorry.
No, it's fucking.
It is awesome. Sorry, I swore on this podcast.
No,
I'm so sorry.
You
can get rid of it.
No, it's awesome.
I
it's the best thing in the world. It's the best thing in the world.
It is so
like
good.
a jest, but it is the best thing.
Oh, it's the best. Yeah. I'm not a parent, but I want to be. I want to be like one day.
As a child, it is. You are the best.
That's awesome.
The best
as a child,
gift.
it rocks.
Yeah, I am the best gift. You're right.
Oh, so good.
Oh, it's so wonderful to have you on.
Yeah,
thanks
so
me,
much. So people can find your special. Head to YouTube.
YouTube.com.
Oh.
You heard of it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. And tune in.
Please watch.
Right.
Yeah. Comment underneath. Share it with your group chats.
Yeah.
That'd be great. But thank you so much for having me on this
No,
podcast.
thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's been so fun.
And
again, I love the family element of this. I've said it again. I'll say it again. I'll say it 1,000 times. And I love that people are talking about this because it's so good. Like, I don't think we really get a chance.
No.
And a space to really get honest about how tricky it is, how fulfilling, how fun, how awesome, how all of it is. But yeah, it's really fun to be talking about it.
Be talking about it, which is a perfect segue because your special is called Small Talk.
It is.
So we just had the big talk.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty. Yeah, there was no small talk. Maybe when my
we really got into the nuts and bolts,
financial records, astrology.
Yeah,
the astrology stuff that was pretty small talk.
Yeah.
Kind of dipped when I started
really
talking about economics.
Anywhere.
Consumer psychology.
Yeah.
Whoa, where is this podcast going?
Yeah. But go see Rowan Thambar, Small Talk. Pop it on. It's super easy.
Yeah.
click on youtube.com. I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you for listening. As we say every week to close the show.
Is this a job?
Beautiful.
I think so.
Yes.
And also go see Rowan show Sheepish.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Yes, go see it.
Come and see. Come and support
March,
everyone.
The 6th of April.
Thank you. There'll be links to all of these things in the show notes.
Yeah.
But you're lovely. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye. Do I say bye?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can.
I wasn't sure.
It would be rude not to.
Thank you for listening. If you liked us, please tell a friend or two. Apparently that's how these things work. We want to acknowledge the incredible stories, culture, resilience and creativity of the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander communities, in particular the beautiful lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nations, where this podcast is recorded. Thank you also to Chris Pickering for the music and Vincent Pickering for the logo and animations. And yes, they are our brothers. We're everywhere.